Welcome. In this video, we'll study what are lists in Python and what are the functions and methods associated with a list in Python. First of all, definition of a list. A list is an ordered sequence of heterogeneous values. That means heterogeneous means it is a collection wherein there can be data type variety of data type values can be there in a single list, and all the values in a list are considered as a set, and each value is separated by a comma, and the indicator symbol of a list is a square bracket. And the most important feature of a list is that it is a mutable sequence. Mutable sequence means that we can change all the elements or any selected element or selected number of elements in a list without any syntax error. Next is how to create list through coding of Python. There are three ways through which we can create a list using Python coding. The first way is displayed on the screen, which is using assignment operator. Assignment operator means single equal to sign in Python, wherein this assignment operator requires a variable on the left hand side and a value or a set of values on right hand side. So we can create a list by starting the statement with the name of the list, then assignment operator, then within square brackets we can enclose the values that we want to give to the list. Second method is using list method or function. We can use list function to create a list in a single statement, either using a literal as shown on the screen or using input function, or it can be used to create an empty list wherein the list function parameters will be empty. Or we can use an existing list to create a new list by using aliases method as shown on the screen. Now the next thing that we require in a list after its creation is how to use individual elements of a list. First of all, before using the individual elements of the list, we should know that how a list is stored in memory. A list is stored, all the elements of a list are stored in continuous blocks in memory, with each element occupy a discrete block in memory of computer, and each element of the list occupies a certain space, and the all the elements are indexed, means that all the elements have a discrete position in the list. These positional values can be used in two ways, either through positive values or negative values. As you can see, if we start counting from left hand side of the list or the beginning element of the list, the first element is placed at index number 0, next 1, then 2, and so on. But if we start assessing the elements of the list from its end, then the positional value of last element of the list is -1, then -2, then -3, and so on. So we can use these elements as discrete elements using their positional index. Next is traversing a list. Traversing a list means how to use or access or print or manipulate all the elements of the list one by one. There are two ways of doing it. First is by using in operator, wherein we can use a for loop and an in operator, where color in this case, in this example, is a list, and we can take a control variable of our for loop and print all the elements of the list like this, having a print statement inside a for loop. Second way out is using range function, wherein we need to calculate number of elements in the list using len function, then using a control variable I and range function inside for loop, you can print all the elements of the list like this. That means each and every element of the list can be used with an index, with a discrete index that we have discussed earlier in the previous slide. Next is what are the operations that are allowed in a list using some operator symbols. There are 4 operator symbols that can be used on a list. Concatenation, that means plus sign. Concatenation means joining one list to end of another list. Repetition is again replication operator wherein we can print a list specific number of times using star. Membership operator, in and not in, we have already discussed with for loop. Slicing is the most important operation on list wherein a given list is divided into its subparts using colon sign. Just like we do subset, we take out subset of a set in mathematics. Now these are the built-in functions or methods that can be used in a list in Python. The number of methods are 12 and many more methods are available, but these are the prime methods that we should know when we have to study a list. Now first method is append. To use a method or function, there is a specific syntax that you have to follow while using these methods in our coding. Append function adds an element to an existing list. Extend again joins to list. Like list 1 is added at the end by all the elements of list 2. Inserting a particular element at a specified position in the list. Reversing elements of the list in that list only without using second list. Index means you are searching a particular element in a list and position of that element will be returned as the value of this function. Len we have already discussed. Sorting means arranging the elements of the list in a ascending order, and the sorted list will be returned in the same list. That means your original list will change. Count, the function already specifies, the name already tells you that it counts the number of elements in the list. Clear means you are clearing all the elements or deleting all the elements from the list. Now for deleting a particular element from the list, there are three different functions: pop, del and remove. Pop removes the last element of the list if position is not specified as a parameter. Del function removes a specific item at the specified position, and remove functions removes the specified item value given in the list. That means pop and del function works on index and remove function works on the value of the list item. That's it. Using list is very important in Python because based on list all the variety of all data structures are based on Python. Thank you.